What's up dudes, I'm Valdivia and welcome to my first ever proper YouTube video. Today I'm going to travel through time and space to share with you my top 10 favourite Atari 2600 games from millennia ago. I wasn't even born when the original Atari was launched. I'm pretty sure we picked up ours second hand in the mid 80s. Ours was a 6-switch version, which I think was made somewhere between 1977 to 1980. Pong! Released on the Atari in 1977, the premise was simple but revolutionary. Electronic tennis, represented by a square ball and a stick either side of the screen, which were the tennis rackets. There was nothing better than going up against a friend or sibling and destroying them 11-0. What made it more enjoyable for me personally was the Atari paddle controller, which looked a bit like a PC mouse with a giant dial on the front and a single button on the side. I just thought it was so much fun to use. The panel wasn't just for Pong, and there were other games that allowed the use of this controller. In fact, I didn't enjoy using a controller this much until the release of the Negcon for the PlayStation in 1995. Space Invaders! You've all played it, as dozens of apparently benign and quite frankly very concerned looking aliens attempt to visit your planet to bring peace and love. You blast them out of the sky as quick as they can descend. The mothership also attempts to visit every so often, but can see how its colleagues are faring and makes a quick getaway. The Atari 2600 release in 1980 was the first official licensing of an arcade game for a video game console. Answer me this, Atari, why on earth wasn't the paddle controller compatible with Space Invaders? Why? Combat. Whoa, look at this! 27 games on one cartridge. 27! I mean, that's amazing! So what have we got? Tanks, biplanes, jets, what else? Actually, that's it. So it's really 3 games on one cartridge. Well, 2 when you consider that biplanes and jets were the same, just with different sprites. But each game had a few different modes, which made the game very enjoyable and kept me coming back for more. This was essentially a deathmatch type game with combatants battling out as either a tank, biplane or a jet in a set arena. The tank game had different maps depending on game mode, with different types of shots, including one that bounced off walls in the tank pong mode. Biplanes and jets were very similar, flying around 2 clouds in the middle of the screen that you could hide behind for cover. Again, very different shots, and also squadron mode, allowing players to control 2 or 3 aircraft in synchronization. Venture. The hell with Diablo or Elder Scrolls, this is one of the original dungeon crawlers. The game ran in a bird's eye view with 2 phases. In the first phase you had to move around the hallways avoiding the guardians at all costs. They couldn't be attacked and could kill you by simply touching you. The second phase began when you entered one of the rooms, which zoomed in your viewpoint to reveal your character as a smiley face. There were also creatures in the rooms that our happy-go-lucky little fella could shoot, allowing you to collect the pieces of treasure. You needed to be quick though. Remember those bigger guys outside the rooms in the hallways? Well, after a minute or so they get really tired of your bullshit and came through the wall, like the Kool-Aid guy on a murderous rampage with the sole intent of mercilessly destroying you with impunity and extreme prejudice. Star Raiders. With the release of Star Wars A New Hope in 1977 and Star Trek the Motion Picture in 1979, plenty of games came out around that period which are loosely based on them. Star Raiders was a 3D space combat simulator in which the player was tasked, all by your little self, with destroying all enemy ships controlled by the evil alien race known as the Krylons. Interestingly enough, they were originally called Xylons in the 1979 release on the Atari 8-bit, but were renamed for the 1982 Atari 2600 port, possibly to avoid getting into any hot water with the creators of Battlestar Galactica. This didn't, however, stop them from making three types of enemy ship resemble front-on views of a TIE fighter, a Klingon battlecruiser, and a Cylon base star. The game came with a keypad that worked independently from the joystick, allowing you to access the galactic map, jump to hyperwarp, and even disable your targeting computer, just like Luke at the Battle of Yavin.
His computer's on. Luke, you switched off your targeting computer. What's wrong?
Obviously, a lot rode on the player's imagination in those days due to limited graphics capabilities, and to look at this game now, it almost looks like you're haphazardly flinging cabbages with a giant catapult at small moving shapes. Still a good game, and I loved every minute of it. Outlaw. Drawing very heavily, again, on one's imagination, Outlaw allowed you to be the baddest rootin' tootin' hombre in the whole Wild West. Whatever the hell that means. Outlaw was pretty much a deathmatch type game, in which two opposing cowboys went head to head in a shootout. There were a couple of different arenas, and by that I mean there was a couple of different obstructions in the middle of the screen that you could choose from, whereby the two disagreeable gentlemen could conduct civilised discussion, stroke bloody gunfight to the death. These included a stagecoach and a cactus, the cactus being an obvious choice of cover for anyone engaged in a firefight. When this was too much for you, there was also the target practice mode, you big bloody wimp. Asteroids. Asteroids. Move a triangle around the screen and shoot dots at irregular shapes that, when hit by the dots, turn into smaller shapes. Don't let any of these shapes touch your triangle, and if a saucepan shaped thing appears, shoot that too. Now let's add some of that early video game imagination. You are Captain Flash Starkiller, ace pilot of the most powerful and deadly starfighter in the galaxy. Your mission, to fly forth into space to defend your home planet from the evil alien empire known only as the Pylons, who have flung waves of asteroids on a collision course using a gravity catapult. Or if you're in your 30s and you have a bit of life experience, the story could go. You are Dave, an ambitious new employee of the Saturn Mining Corporation who has just landed a job at the prestigious headquarters on Mimas, one of Saturn's moons. On your first day, your supervisor draws your attention to the expansive, shimmering rings of Saturn that fill the heavens above you, and says, "Clean that lot up." In Asteroids, you basically piloted a small ship in an asteroid field that could move, shoot and teleport to different spots on the screen to avoid danger. As you shoot the asteroids, they'd split up into smaller asteroids, making them more difficult to hit, and UFOs would appear from time to time which you could shoot for extra points, but they would fire back. Super Breakout! No, this is not a game about a bad case of acne. Super Breakout was kind of like Pong, but the idea was to hit a ball against a wall made of coloured bricks, destroying them for points. On the cartridge, you had a guy in an astronaut suit with what looked like a tennis racket in his hand, so I guess this is Space Squash, although it has been referred to as Buzz Aldrin Space Rainbow Tennis, which I actually love quite a lot. Amazingly, Super Breakout was the subject of a kid's audiobook at the time, and it has a backstory. So the astronaut is called Captain John Stuart Chang, who has been on a routine mission transporting some cargo back to his space station. On his return journey, he finds out that his course has been blocked by a never-ending space rainbow. With his life support systems running out, he must find a way to break through the layers of the rainbow using photon torpedoes that he can bounce off the ship's hull. Sounds a lot cooler than space tennis. Yars Revenge. No, this is not a Star Trek Expanded Universe story about how Tasha Yar comes back to life to seek retribution from her death at the hands of the malevolent life form, Armus. In Yar's Revenge, you played as the giant space fly that must destroy the evil Quartile by eating and shooting holes into the shield that surrounded it, and then firing a cannon in the hope of timing a shot correctly so it goes through the gap, directly hitting the Quartile. Sounds pretty crazy, yeah? Well, it was the 80s and nobody gave a shit. There was also a section in the middle of the screen that looked like your television was knackered. But this was in fact the safe zone where you could wait to avoid enemy fire. Apart from when the Quartile turned into a brown swirly thing and hurled itself at you periodically. The swirly thing homed in on your location and would kill you if it touched you. A skilled player could shoot the swirly thing in mid-air with the cannon, which classes a kill. Star Master. Star Master was very similar to Star Raiders, so similar in fact that in this day and age they probably would have never gotten away with it. Think of a TV show airing about a chemistry teacher called Walter Brown who tries to make ends meet by cooking up drugs and selling them in secret. This show is entitled Breaking Good. See, you just won't get away with it. Okay, maybe I'm being a bit harsh there. For a start, the Atari keypad wasn't used in Star Master. In fact, the keypad wasn't used on any other game apart from Star Raiders. Now, like Star Raiders, you had to travel throughout the galaxy by plotting a course on your map with the aim of destroying all enemies and protecting your star bases. All by yourself. I mean, where is everybody? It's like No Man's Sky. Well, apart from the fact that your spaceship works perfectly from the start, there's actual space combat, and you don't get the feeling that you're wasting your life playing it. Thanks for watching, dudes. This has been my top 10 Atari 2600 games. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. If you thought it was shit, I really don't blame you at all. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.